So, guys, the first thing I want to say about the sky is it's rare. I think rarity matters, and you are going to receive a rare angularity as well. You're going to experience the eclipses over the next year and a half through the fourth house, 10th house axis, 10th house eclipses in whole sign Aquarius, fourth house eclipses in whole sign Leo.
Lunatic astrology.
Hello, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. August of 2026 brings you foundational change. It brings you a change to the very structures of your very reality. You might change things dramatically after this month's total solar eclipse in your fourth house in a way that you haven't been able to even imagine doing since 1971 or to some extent 1990. This rare circumstantial pileup of Jupiter and other planets in your fourth house this month is going to reset your reality towards maybe a new job, a new career path, a new home, a new relationship. Some of you may get married. Some of you may choose to separate from a long-term partnership. Some of you may be aiming high for a new career direction that truly brings you satisfaction. And some of you may come into some money from this particular story. In today's video, we're going to dive into the 30 minutes together week by week and talk about how this plays out. I'll be focusing a lot on Venus. She's also the Lord of Taurus, the boss of you, the ruler of your sign, as well as, of course, Jupiter and that eclipse. We have another eclipse at the end of the month we're covering too. That's the Pisces eclipse, and that's also very important to finish a story in your life that has been playing out for 2 whole years. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Lothian, and this is Lunatic Astrology. We are using the Western Tropical Zodiac. We are using, of course, the whole sign house system. Always good to cast your chart in whole sign houses as the ancients did. My free tutorial is below. And if you want to learn astrology, I'm a teaching astrologer. I'd love to see you in class. Sky Reader, my 7th season teaching starts this fall. It is literally a blast, 7 weeks long. We have guest teachers for maybe 5 this year for additional add-on. We have weekly Q&A classes, Discord and Facebook group, teaching assistants helping me teach. The point is to learn to read your natal sky, to be your own astrologer, and to time your best life. And you'll be learning a couple of very accurate timing tools. The class is fun, the class is engaging, and it is my favorite thing to do every year. I only run this in September, so if you don't sign up for it in live time, I don't resell it, so I'd love to see you there. In the information box below, you can click through to the website, and I believe at the end of this video, I'm going to ask my editor, Stella, to append a little deeper dive into the actual course and me showing you what I think about it and taking you to the website. So if you want to go to the end of the video, I'll have a little 7 minutes on the course from my perspective and why I think it's a great thing for most people to do. Woo! Let's get started. So guys, the first thing I want to say about the sky is it's rare. I think rarity matters, and you are going to receive a rare angularity as well. You're going to experience the eclipses over the next year and a half through the fourth house, 10th house axis, 10th house eclipses in whole sign Aquarius, fourth house eclipses in whole sign Leo. This is going to mean a grinding of the gears, of the wheel of your fortune changing about many matters. Career, purpose, reputation, relationship, and home are under a huge amount of change. This is also something that only happens every 18 years in this particular way. So it's got the eclipse vibe rarity as well. Yes, you had eclipses like this here in 1970, 71, in 90, 91, for example, right? So it's not like we've never had eclipses here. What it matters is how this eclipse, this total solar eclipse on August the 20th in your fourth house, is a total solar eclipse. We've had a ton of lunar eclipses here over the years, but a total solar eclipse, we all have to go back to 1971 in the summer of 71. So that's how rare it is. And then you had the South Node of Fate joining Jupiter, and that last happened in 1990. So what I'm trying to express is when we see rarity, we see our eyes go, pay attention. Yes, eclipses happened here as well in August of 2008 and 9, but they were Leo lunar eclipses. A total solar eclipse is a whole different ballgame. I'm going to bring you over to the sky. We've got about 30 minutes together, and I want you to follow along with me as we show you what the sky looks like. I like to teach astrology, so I'd like to teach you to see the sky so that I'm not just telling you what's happening and you have no idea what the heck I'm talking about, right? If you like this kind of teaching content, if you like this kind of astrology, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please hit the notification bell. It really does support the channel to grow. So in your sky here, what you see is Taurus ascendant. If we're listening for your sun, which is your career and purpose, we put your sun here as if it existed in a Taurus first house placement. Same with the moon, right? We put the moon here, which is how you think and feel about life in your home nest and where you live. But also your ascendant is your character in the simulation, right? If there's a video game simulation called reality, this is your avatar. It's your personality, persona, and mask, where the solar energy is the true you. Now, here's the deal. I have to start with Chiron because it's here. You're going to be living with Chiron in your first house, on your ascendant, near your sun, near your moon, whatever, for 7 whole years. And this is a test run that started on June 19th and ends September 17th, where you're playing with Chiron in your sandbox. And it is literally a new energy for you. It will drive you into a desire to find your natural talents and gifts, what your purpose in life is, but it can also make you feel discombobulated. You might be wounded in career, wounded in your home and nest and emotional life, wounded in your identity. You're going to go through this for 7 years and you're just getting the flavor of it this summer. So be ready for that story. I've done more than 2 videos on Chiron and Taurus already. Go find them in my playlist as well. And maybe I'll remember to put it in the description box. If you just Google Lori Lothing Chiron Taurus, you'll find it somewhere, or Lunatic Astrology. Now, that is the backdrop story that matters for you through to mid-September. You've been under it since the 3rd week of June. Keep it in mind. Venus rules you. Venus is moving through Virgo, where she is in her detriment as we begin July the 31st. And as we move into the next day of August the 1st, you'll still be dealing with her here. She's not in good shape while she's in the sign of Virgo, just squared away. She's feeling uncomfortable, ill at ease, discombobulated. Take it as you will. She's going to leave the sign of Virgo and dance her way into Libra here. And now we are August the 6th, and now we are relieved. Now we have some new vibrational energy that makes you quite relieved to experience it. Venus in the sign of Libra is in her home kingdom. She's in dignity and she's in good shape. This is indicating that you are also going to experience a very positive energy when it comes to matters connected to your 6th house. What is your 6th house? It's your work, your health, your pets, your debts, tenancy agreements, whether you're the lessee or the landlord. And so now this is a blessed zone for you. I find when Venus is here, your health gets better because she finds ways to show you how to be healthy, but to enjoy the process of getting healthy. And you'll have her supporting you in better health. That's the good news, right? Supporting you and feeling better about your health all the way from August the 7th to September the 10th. 6th, 7th, time zone dependent, to about September the 10th. It's a great time for a detox or rehab. She's opposite addictive Neptune and hardcore Saturn. So if you wanted to start a detox, a new dietary habit, especially with Mars still in the house of what you put in your mouth, cut and then sever, the onset of a new dietary path anytime around August 6th through until the September 10th means success, right? You're able to do it, that cleanse, that purification, that detox, that rehab, whatever. Go for it. This is where it works. This is where it's easy. She could always bring you a new job here, especially in her trine to Pluto that's going to build this month. And she can also bring you a new pet if you want one, especially with Jupiter in the 4th. You won't get one cat, you'll get kittens. You won't get one dog, you'll get 2. If you're going to do pets with Venus Jupiter energy, you're getting more than one pet in August. You'll see what I mean. And finally, if you have debts you want to pay off, this could be good for that. You could increase your success in debt repayment, especially to banks, mortgages, loans, credit cards, that kind of debt. Mortgages, if I didn't say that, the debt repayment of those things becomes very successful and maybe even very lucky. So I'll dive into that as we move forward. It's really a good time as well to take on a new job. It's a blessed new beginning, to hire a new employee, a new servant, so to speak, for a blessed new beginning in your life. So those things are yay you. Thank you, Venus. Now we're going to go through it week by week, talk about the story as it unfolds, yarn by yarn, week by week. So let's get started. That was an overview. And don't forget, Jupiter in your 4th house is there for a year till July of 2027. So you're going to be very lucky when it comes to home, prosperity in and home, from the home, generating prosperity from the home, abundance in the home, children in the home. This can indicate a fertility signature. The birth of children or grandchildren can happen in the year ahead. Now, August the 1st through to about the 5th, not much happening. I know you don't believe me, but it's true. in the first 5 days or so. It's just this mini grand trine that's been playing out all summer long is still activated. Good luck in the career space, and money space should be showing up for you. But then we move into August 6th, and now we have the sun in a trine to Saturn, while Venus is moving into Libra. Now, Sun and Saturn are focused on consolidating structure and discipline around, it could be anything, addictions, around your digital income borderless revenue, regarding your spiritual life, and what you're doing in the home. The sun in the fourth house is often quite difficult for sleep. You might be restless. It's like having the night light turned off, or just having the light turned on, right? Like instead of a dim switch or a low light so you can sleep, you've got light glaring in the midnight hour. So I bet you're feeling it. I mean, you do every year at the same time, right? It's going to be the third week of July to the third week of August. You're always feeling like, I can't sleep at night, or I feel restless in my bed, or I feel agitated in the home. But the sun here is in a reset mode with Jupiter that happened around the last July the 29th, 30th. Sun and Jupiter joined together and reset your life in a once every 12-year way, a reset button for a new home, and new approach to prosperity in the home or from the home. And because Jupiter rules your inheritance house, it could indicate you're coming into an inheritance, a significant legacy wealth from your family of origin within the next year. Now, does it mean that they have to pass? No, maybe one of your parents wins the lottery and gives you a chunk of money, but you're coming into that inheritance-like prosperity within the next 12 months. So keep that in mind. Having this energy, though, of Jupiter down here with the sun, well, also the sun is trining Saturn, and I'm talking about August 6th and 7th, can be illuminating or helping you see from the roots of your childhood stories where golden opportunity is available to you. But you also have to deal up your own self-sabotage patterns and habits, the way you have created or wreaked havoc in your own life. It reminds me of that song, She's Come Undone. Where have you undone yourself? And you might be getting guidance, teaching, or knowledge or understanding of childhood and past life stories, that's the South Node, that have held you back. And now you're ready to let go of your vows of chastity, vows of poverty, or your own addictive self-undoing habits, patterns, and beliefs even. And that's a reset button of great magnitude. And now you're beginning to lean into, how can I make this work? This new perspective that's forming in my life. August 6th and August 7th. Now, when we move past that narrative and we get to Venus, the Lord of your sign, opposite Neptune and trine Pluto, you better pay attention. This is August the 9th and 10th. And Venus is trining Pluto, which is a wealth energy, okay? So by wealth, I mean money or resources. It's a power of love and the love of power. But as she forms this trine, and you can see it building up as soon as she enters into Libra, as soon as we're around August the 6th, by the time we get to here, August the 9th, it's pretty exact. It can lead you to a profound opportunity in your work or career. The North Node amplitude with Pluto is powering up in professional advancement and accomplishment and success. If you're retired, then the service you do in the world is now powering up to new levels of approval by the world. And Venus is like, okay, do you want this new job position, opportunity? What do you think? Do you want more money in your work? I'm happy to give it to you. Do you want more power in your work? Let's take it on. You're coming into a window with the South Node, North Node combination where you're going to excel in your career over the next 18 months. And this is your first testing 1, 2, that the level of accomplishment you're capable of, Taurus, is extraordinary. And so you may easily exceed your expectations in this next year and a half with the North Node amplitude to your career, not only changing your career, but also creating worldly success outcomes. And because Venus is also flowing backwards to Uranus, this is creating a air trine. There can be unexpected surprises in your money connected to work, livelihood, income, and professional advancement. And you're feeling that energy building all through about August the 6th to even August the 14th. So that's a window where you can really hear what I'm saying. Go feel into it. Apply for the job. Take the interview. Ask for the raise. This is your window of success. August the 11th moving on past that story and diving into a little bit of a Mercury tale. Now, Mercury's not the lord of your sign, but he will be opposing Pluto, and it's news or information. And the kind of news or information that may be coming your way can be a bit of a difficult piece of information. So Mercury could give you news or information around father figures, and I'm going to say, death and rebirth themes, or to do with wealth, prosperity, legacy wealth, inheritance, career matters, and news, information, exchange, negotiations, or deals. Because we have Jupiter and the South Node and the Sun in the fourth house, it's conceivable that a patrilineal father figure, could be grandfather, is getting ready to pass on money your way. That could be a live in trust, could be a will, I don't know. And you might be hearing some news about this or information. Now, if some of you go, my dad died years ago, or my granddad's are dead, I don't know. Then maybe the boss is going to reveal to you, Pluto in the 10th house, some kind of incredible deal opportunity that makes a lot of sense to your bottom line prosperity wise. See what happens, okay? Information exchange, transformation, rebirth, regeneration, and renewal. Very important window of time. It's very flash in the pan. You feel it most exact around August the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Put that on your calendar. It's not as bad as all that, in case you're afraid of it. It does sextile Venus, creates a miniature mystical rectangle. So it's probably good on your financial bottom line. I think it's professional advancement for most of you. Some of you with Jupiter's rulership, it could be inheritances. Now, as we continue into the future, which is my favorite thing to do, and we take a look at around August the 12th, we're coming into the eclipse, but also Venus, the lord of your sign, is extremely busy in a love up, as I mentioned here, with Uranus. So that's a money surprise. If I just put that separate, a financial surprise connected to debts, work, someone owes you money, could give it back to you, debts, work, a financial surprise connected to your pet, but a good one, as unexpected, a surprise opportunity to have a pet, possess a pet, but it's probably a money surprise. And you're going to say yes. Okay, you're going to like the vibe. And that's happening. But then the eclipse is happening the day after. And this eclipse is rare. I talked about it in the intro. You'll have to go back to 1971, and you'll have to go back to July or August of 71. Exact date doesn't matter, but it was actually August 20th of 1971, an eclipse, total solar eclipse in Leo. So this is important. And this total solar eclipse down here is with the South Node, which is even rarer. It hasn't happened in this lifetime in this way. So what is it you need to deeply and profoundly release that on August the 12th, and you'll give it about 4 weeks before and up to even a year after, but you'll feel a kind of window of time building, like 4 weeks before and 3 months after you're in this thrust of this eclipse energy. What is it you want to give up, surrender, and release? Is it your childhood stuff? Is it your relationship to a parent that really troubled you? There was angst around that parental relationship. And are you looking into the ancestor line? Do you want to do ancestor clearing work? If something is down in the well of the bottom of the chart, in the darkest part of the sky, for you to clear out and release. And when you do that, you succeed. You could literally release property. You might be compelled to move to a new home, to sell a home. And that would be a very big deal for you, because with the South Node, it's a destined sell of a property. It's a destined move, a destined relocation. It's not idle. It's not a minor deal. It's some fated circumstance allows for, suggests, or propels you to a geographical relocation project. So in this regard, it's important, but this is just the beginning. This eclipse August 12th is just the start. You don't know the full script yet. You've only opened it up to page 1. So let's see how it goes. Pay attention. See what happens near the eclipse. See if you get clues. Don't look at an eclipse. I keep reminding people, don't look at an eclipse. It's not the best thing for your spiritual well-being. According to the ancient world, I believe them. I just don't look with my eyeballs. Not because I go blind. I wear the glasses because it's not a good omen. Unless maybe you're spiritually super powered up with guides and celestial deities protecting you, I suppose. It's a portal, guys. Things come through portals. Now, the eclipse itself is combining itself with that surprise. And so there's something about this energy So it does kind of have some side wings, like the wings of the eclipse are positive on your money, property, land, and real estate matters. And that will be true for the course of the time around the eclipse. But the eclipse is a whole other year-long prediction. Moving past the eclipse. Venus and, Mercury are loving each other up about the 13th to the 15th, just kind of saying, "Hey, I love you," and we like each other. So this kind of Mercury news, Venus good news, good news, good news. They track with each other. They keep the track going all the way through to about here. Really like a long extended love up between these two. It kind of wanes here. So something like the 12th to the 16th or so. Look for good news to be a story here. And I like it for debt elimination, credit card pay downs, bank and finance changes. I like it for getting the dream job in home, from home, by home, near home, home office stuff as well. And it could also be good news about the pet story. You get the perfect pet that you wanted out of the litter. But there's that nice flow that goes on from about the 12th, 13th to even to the 16th between the messenger and Venus. And Mercury, he does own your house of good fortune. So you perceive the news or information or the negotiations as fortunate. You could negotiate a rental property under the sky in this time frame, the 12th to the 16th, 17th. You could find the perfect rental property, a bigger home, a more spacious home, an extra room, an artist studio in the backyard. Okay, that would work that way. If you have mortgage debts that are burdensome, you could sell your house and get the perfect property sale agreement under your wing to pay off debts because you take money from the property sale. And Mercury represents the fine print too, right? So, the agreements, the lawyerly stuff that has to be signed, but it has divine support from Lord Venus. You might notice that Mars has moved into your third house. We're going to get to that. He'll be in his detriment here. This is not a good time for you to travel, and be careful of automobile injury and road rage, and be careful that you're not trying to push something on an agenda onto somebody, a sibling, a friend, a neighbor, a local friend, because this is where there's aggression in this energy field. And there could be some conflict with a sibling under this energy. So this energy builds up, this conflict, sibling energy, or aggression with the neighbors, or desire to travel, but there's going to be delays or things that forestall travel with the square to Saturn. So travel plans may go awry. And you'll notice that August the 11th to September the 28th, that those travel plans may have a lot of hiccups, and they may not even happen. But be careful again with anger and aggression on the road, with others on the road, with siblings, and with your neighbors. You don't want to get into a dispute with your neighbors. Okay, continuing forward. And we're going to move into the next piece of real estate. The time real estate, I call this a map of time. And I'm moving into I'm looking at which next that I want to talk about. I think I'm going to talk next about for you Mars square Neptune on August 16th, and it's building a couple days before and after. This is kind of a breaking point, right? Remember I told you to be careful for road rage, right? Not that you're the rager. I don't think you probably are, but so oops, I went too far. Around the 16th, we're getting to the breaking point later. Around the 16th, 18th even, Mars and Neptune are not having a good time together. It's pretty exact here, around the 16th. And so a couple days, 3 days before, a couple days after, this is where you might have a disillusionment or a strong reality check. It can be very much about a new direction as well. And it can involve people in distant shores and far off lands. It can involve addictions, self-undoing. It can involve major turning points in relationships to any of your siblings. And it can also be a major shift of a direction. And the directional shift is not easy. We have 2 fallen planets. You have to make a change of direction. I mean, maybe you're moving to a new neighborhood and you don't want to, a new city and town, and you're resisting that, for example. But whatever this is, it's just a short window of feeling friction instead of ease in your reality at that time. If you're a social media person, there may be constrictions or constraints, blocks in your process, things that are holding you back, for example. Or if you're a writer, the same things apply. You might just be wanting to delay things. You might want to take time out. You want to go into quietude or isolation. travel can happen under this. It's not that travel can't happen, but there will be challenges that go with that travel. So I'd be a little bit careful about choosing travel around this window of the 14th to the 18th. It gets a little worse later on. So it's really with the square to Saturn coming up as well, which will happen on like the end of August. Really, like the last 4 days of August, there's some real crunchy stuff around travel, long or short distance for you. Both are true. Saturn rules long distance, Mars is in short distance. There's blockage, there's disillusionment, there's confusion. It looks like you're having a hard time getting a trip off the ground in the last 2 weeks of August. Or if you take the trip, watch out for unexpected delays in your plans. All right, so then we want to move into the next story. So we do have an eclipse coming up at the end of August. I might be scooting us right to that point right away. We'll see if there's anything else I want to mention. Venus opposite, I'm going to give you a Venus story. Venus opposite Saturn is beginning to build up. Starting to feel it around here, August the 17th, 18th. And with Venus in your 6th house and Saturn in your 12th, health matters connected to what you do to make your health bad. Be careful. This is where you're definitely having a real hard stop on something. Like, you can't eat ice cream every night before bed. You should drink less than 1 glass of wine a day, or whatever this is, because Neptune is that addictive escapism in the house of addictions and self-undoing. There's a real hard moment here. There may be a real crux of a hard moment in the health of an elder in your family who in a hospital situation. There may be a real dynamic and difficult turning point where you have some challenges with the health of a pet. There may be some dynamic and challenging situations regarding debt and servicing of debt if you are indebted to something that's existing in a country other than the one you live in. But you can also be working with a strong Venus to eliminate that debt. So I know a Taurus who has a credit card debt in a country they don't live in. They could probably do a bankruptcy declaration, right? It's no big deal. So there's just something about that intensity that you're experiencing here around August the 19th. And it's short-lived, right? It's not going to last, but you'll feel it. 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. Pay attention, because Venus is the lord of your sign. You got to watch what she does. Around the 26th of the month, we have a lot going on. We are going to have Mercury in the heart of the sun, resetting an important part of your reality just before an eclipse. And so whatever this reset button is, it could be a reset in relationship to your children, to your art, your creativity, your entrepreneurial business. It's a good reset. Mercury is direct. Mercury is in his home kingdom. You could also have a major reset regarding a sibling too younger and your relationship to that sibling and to your children. And your children are having a reset here as well. One of your children, especially the firstborn child, has a major new beginning in their life. Could be a romance, could be a career change. There's a change in your life of a child. Okay? That Cazimi is then going to bundle us into the actual eclipse of August the 28th in Pisces, the last eclipse, the eclipse on August the 28th at 5 degrees of Pisces. This moon will be at 5. It is a lunar eclipse. This is like the first eclipse that started in September of 2024, September 2025, and here we go again, September of 2026. You're done after this. The lunation is asking you to look at again and again, what are your long-range goals? What are your long-range plans? What are your long-range dreams for your life? What do you want to see your life become? And how would you wish it into being if a fairy godmother father came to you and said, make a wish? So the moon is giving you an illumination of what you didn't know about your own wishes, what you didn't understand about what you truly desire in life. And so this is the last time to look at it. 18 years from now, it'll come back like this. So this is a way to say, I want this. And it's career related. The node is now in the career space, which it wasn't before. Now you're trying to see the big picture of purpose, accomplishment, career, illumination of hidden desires. And you might be surprised, this eclipse could bring you a very beautiful recognition, revelation, or understanding of what you really want in life. What is it that you really want? Jupiter's happy to try to help out, right? He's down here. He's witnessing the whole reality structure from the 4th house. He could say, well, that's my home. There's a fulfillment here that wants to happen. How can I support that? Some of you might need to change where you live in order to actualize who you wish to become. For example, there's some deeper connection to Jupiter here that needs to be looked at as well. All said and done, this is a house where you have people who want to help you. The sibling one above you, one older in birth order, one older than you in birth order. Also, perhaps your friends, social groups, and alliances, people who are like benefactors who wish to favor you. There's a highlight of who those people are. Who are my true support structures? Who are my true friends? How can I rely on them? And so there's illumination here. And there's also cosmic and karmic change. Because it impacts your 10th house, it definitely impacts your career, success, ambition, and growth as well over the course of at least 6 months after this eclipse. Past that eclipse and during that eclipse, we'll have Jupiter trining Saturn. This is always very good for opportunities through hard work. Perseverance pays, and discipline leads to reward. And so Saturn is grinding in your 12th house and Jupiter is in your 4th. This is really good for if you want to settle to another country or move abroad. You're able to put the pegs and structures in place, including visas, passports, and all the legal details in order to do that. This can also be an extension of inheritance themes that I mentioned earlier. And now you're getting everything worked out, and there's a diligent application of effort to receive the prosperity that you're here to attain under this eclipse energy, under the sky. And perhaps what the trine to Jupiter is now there is more structured scaffolding for a transfer of wealth that's being maneuvered into place through banks and lawyers and institutional settings. For example, that includes sale of property and all the things I said. Could be someone from a foreign country will buy a property you own, and that's what we're seeing, but there's flow there. That's the point. Sun will square Uranus just after the eclipse. It's all big deal. When the Sun and Uranus square, there's a surprise, unexpected development. It's on the financial front. It's connected to the house of good fortune, which can bring, in this story, windfalls. Good fortune for speculation or gambling, and an eclipse in the house of windfalls. Maybe you're going to come into a bit of money. Now, of course, not every Taurus can't do that. That would be ridiculous. But some Tauruses may come into money, especially rising sign, come into what feels like a windfall off of this energy field of the Sun square Uranus. Otherwise, you could have a conflict with a child and a lot of tension with money issues and a child, or a romantic love partner, or tensions with your art and entrepreneurial business and money that surprise you. You weren't seeing it, and now you can see clearly. You've got a financial issue to deal with here that you weren't expecting to deal with. And we're going to round the month off with Mars squaring Saturn. I talked about it earlier. Something's got to give. There's got to be a better way. This is a breaking point. You may have a fracture in a sibling relationship. You may have a fracture in a neighbor situation. You may have a fracture regarding your ambitions and goals to travel. It could be the cancellation of travel plans, for example. That square is happening around August the 31st, and it just is what it is. You know, you might plan the best you can, but then God laughs when we make plans. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the button, the bell for notifications, so you don't miss a thing. And don't forget to check out everything about me, Substack, Patreon, and more in my description box below. I'm really trying to lead you into my Sky Reader program, and hopefully right after this, you'll see a little 10-minute or 5-minute overview of the program by me, and I'll love to see you in class. Please consider signing up. Information in the description box below. Every year I teach Sky Reader in the fall. It's always in September. It's usually 6 weeks long, and this time we're going for 7. We're taking it a little slower, giving you a very kind of leg up first week, which we take the pieces of the sky and teach you to read them in a very constructive and well-paced manner. This is my favorite class to teach. When I teach Sky Reader, I always feel so excited because you have learned to read your own sky. You now know what your chart is all about, and you know how to read the basic language of astrology for your friends, family, and your children, whoever you want to share it with. No, we're not professionally certifying you. At Lunatic Astrology, and I'm your teacher, Lori Lothian, we're teaching you to fish so that when you listen to me on YouTube and you're getting all of that guidance, maybe you can also get your own. You know, we don't want to move against the sky. We want to move with the sky. We want to move in the area of our lives that brings us flow and ease, because the sky supports that. And by having a knowledge of what the sky is saying, and relative to our own natal sky, we are able to operate at a new level. That level is about flow. It is about not arguing with what is happening and moving in the direction of what wants to happen. It is so darn simple. Life is full of ups and downs, but if you know that there's a swamp, 2 doors away, and if you walk that way, you're going to get stuck in quicksand, you can avoid that. If you go to the left instead of the right, there's a beautiful meadow with a lake. Why not take that path? The sky is always grabbing us. It's called the grahas, or the grabbers. The planetary planets, like where they're going in the sky, the transits, that moving heavens, the moving stars, the map of time is a map of where we should avoid getting stuck and where we may move forward with freedom. And the grabber part of planets is that they're almost like celestial teasers, right? They want to grab us and make us move in a direction. Sometimes it's not in our highest and best good. And I don't mean in a conscious, malefic way. I just mean you can take something like Neptune and make it all about transcendence and spiritual union and high creativity and imagination. And you could take it all the way down to drug addiction, and destitution maybe, and even things to do with mental challenges, health challenges. So you can operate at all levels of every planet. In Sky Reader, we show you your highest potential. Now, this is an introductory class. If you want to come to Sky Reader to be your own astrologer and time your best life, then you're coming because you are curious astrologically. You're not coming because you've already taken some heavyweight courses under your belt. You're coming because you've been listening to my channel or other astrologers, and you've always had a curiosity about learning, and you've always wanted to learn to read the sky, which is the map of time. So I'm hoping some of you will come join me there, because I've graduated hundreds of students so far, and the feedback is wonderful. And I invite all of my students, former, to come back every year and play around in redoing the course for 75% off, because I think the more you do it, the more you deepen it. We have guest teachers every year. When you join Sky Reader, you get the archived vault. In other words, you can go back and watch other guest classes in astrocartography, the astrology of relocation, and things to do with zodiacal releasing and more. We have these guest teachers coming in this year, are so much fun. We have a guest teacher about the love codes, Donnie Lim of astrology, learning to read your Venus story. We have a guest teacher coming in about medical or wellness astrology. We have another one showing us about how to choose the perfect day to do something, day and time to launch your website, get married. That's called electional astrology. We have what's your purpose, dharma kind of thing with another teacher. So what we're doing is we're giving you a lot of content. What you're doing is you're taking time to learn, but also to hold on to that content forever. It is evergreen. Once you have it, you never don't have it. If it's over your head at first, you won't be over your head when you take a second stab at it. Weekly Q&As, different time zones, so we can get people around the world in those Q&As. We alternate between evening and night every second week on Wednesday nights, and usually they're at 5:30 or 6 p.m. Pacific time. We also have the idea that the class itself is now happening at 9:30 a.m. in Pacific time on Saturday, starting on the 19th of September. So that's wonderful. We have a Facebook group and a Discord group that we have moderators running, where you can meet other people who are learning astrology, share your notes, and get to meet some new astrologically curious friends. Who knows, you might meet your soulmate there. And we're also taking you through a journey that is sequential, from learning to read the sky to being able to use 2 very profound timing tools to help you understand your reality and begin to move forward with ease and grace. The feedback from Sky Reader year after year has been phenomenal, and every time I teach it, I learn to make it more simple, more well-paced, and more easy for you to grasp. So I'm in 7 years of doing this. I think I'm getting it down finally to a fine art, thanks to you guys. I'm going to show you the website just so you see what it looks like. I'm now moving most of my content to lorilothian.com. It used to be somewhere else at Padaya. If you're there already, nothing is taken away from you. At this point, though, I'll show you the new website so you can take a gander at what the sky looks like over there, what my site looks like. And I hope to see some of you in class. I always say this, and I'm not making this up. You might probably think, oh, that's a sales pitch. Oh, I might not teach this next year. That's not true. I always wonder if I'm just going to retire and start to write books. And my agent wants me to write a book. And so I have a lot on my plate to get done in this life. Legacy is to leave a book behind. So for me, when I say I may not teach this next year, Lori may not teach this next year. Okay. All right. So this is the website, lorilothian.com. If you go /sky-reader, you'll be at the introduction to the course and the enrollment page. We're on a discount code right now until the end of July. Well, it's not a code, it's just a discount. There's 40% off the full price. And then in August, depending on when you hear this, there'll be another lower price, not as discounted as July's early enrollment price, but by September, it will go to full price. So make sure that you get in this class with a discount if that's something you're looking for. So you can see this beautiful website was created by my team. I think it's gorgeous. learn to read your sky, and then there's a preview of what we have going on. So when you get into the course backdrop and you're there, you're going to have like stuff already waiting for you, a little tutorial on how to cast your chart in whole sign houses, free minis of the 12 houses PDF, and I have what I call your Astro Toolkit. I'm always adding more stuff to that toolkit. You don't need a professional software. You can use Astrocom, astro-seek.com, time passages. These are free softwares. This is not requiring you to purchase professional software in order to learn in my course. And you'll see that we have the toolkit here. These are elements that go in, how to cast your chart in whole sign houses. These are already in the back end of the program. Your cheat sheet pack, 12 signs, 12 houses guide. This is just learning tools. This is all going to help you learn. For most classes, I'll be putting together a handbook to help guide you through each class, which is new this year, kind of a prompts, a questions, things to fill out so that you can use it as a kind of self-study tool. Just print it out on a PDF on a computer. I'll aim to keep it black and white, of course, so you don't have to worry about color. And then we see that the Astrology 101 is we set you up really slowly. I call it the slow start, where we're really going to build the basic building blocks together so that when you come off of week one, you are like someone who went to kindergarten to learn the alphabet. You're going to have the basics in your toolkit, in your understanding already. And then we talk about the various parts of the sky, the big four, the 12 houses, dignity matters. Planets have dignity. You want to understand that. Otherwise, there's nothing you're going to understand without that. Dignity matters. We're also using whole sign houses, and this is ancient Hellenistic astrology. The focus will not be on the outer planets because we can't use them as time lords. And so it's not that there's anything wrong with the outer planets, but they're not good for timing your best life. Unless you want to live 248 years, says Pluto, 164 years, says Neptune, or 84 years, says Uranus. They're not the most timely tools, right? Solar returns is one of the things we do, and we learn about the perfection ages. Now, you may think I know all about my solar return and my perfection age. I don't think you do. I embed in some advanced tools there for you that you won't probably find anywhere else after like 8 years and thousands of clients, nonstop teaching and seeing real clients in the trenches. I have figured a few things out, and I always like to share what I figured out with you guys so that you can also use those tools the way I do. There's always bonus content here. And so you get from me, not to use until you've taken Sky Reader, the birthday chart advanced course as your solar return, the annual perfections advanced course, and how to find people in your chart. Where's my mom? Where's my kids? Where's my husband? Where's my siblings? How to find the planets that represent those people in your chart. That is also a part of a course that I've taught that I give you as a part of your bonus toolkit. Okay, so I hope you guys will go over. I hope you'll have fun if you come to study with me. I would love to see you there. When I talk about teaching, without a doubt, it is my favorite thing to do. It gives me a joy, actually. I remember years ago, I went to see a psychic reader in Coquitlam, Canada. That's outside of Vancouver. She looked at me as I walked in the room. This is like 15 years ago. And she said, teacher, 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 you are a teacher. At the time, I was a magazine editor and a writer, and I had no idea what she was talking about. And look at her today. She was right 15 years later. That is my passion. That is what I do. Hope you'll join me. I'll see you guys in Sky Reader, and let's have some fun learning together. Everyone have a very good, wherever you are, day, month, or year.
Lunatic astrology.